He's a music producer and engineer, and he's been working in the music business here in Los Angeles for over 10 years. He's worked with some bands that you've probably heard of, like Pierce the Veil and Newfound Glory, and many more. So stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to the Red Booth. Tonight we have Kyle Black.
Hello.
Kyle Black is a music producer, and he's worked with all kinds of bands, and we actually have some of his albums hanging around on the booth today, so we can show you some of those. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is really cool.
For sure.
I think that the whole behind-the-scenes stuff on what happens, with music is something that people need to know more about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because,
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I mean, I don't think most people even know what a music producer really does.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
So I was hoping you could help enlighten us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a music producer is really you gotta dive into a musician's brain and kind of fish out what they're envisioning in their head and kind of take it and convert it into something that's pumping out of speakers in a really cool way, And
so technically, you deal with the actual tracks and all that sort of stuff. Like, is that referred to as engineering?
Engineering, the job of engineering would be to set up microphones and get tones and record it. Producing is, assisting the band into getting their creative ideas out in the best way possible with arrangements and performances and stuff like that. And then
so you sort of critique what they're like, let's do more of this, or let's get some of that, or
sure.
You sort of do that.
Inspire performances, so they're playing to the best of their abilities, and just to find what makes them great and special, and get that.
Cool.
So I tend to do all of that, producing, engineering, and mixing. But sometimes I've even engineered a couple records, just engineered or just mixed. And,
right.
I kind of do it all.
So it's the mixing, mix mastering, right? So that's the final step of making sure everything sounds really great.
Right.
On the album, balancing everything
mixing's
out.
That same concept. You got to take a producer's envision, and make it pump through the speakers. Like, for example, the Newfound Glory stuff was recorded by Paul Miner and pretty much produced by the band, I think. And then, so I was just to take that and make it sound awesome.
So you did the mix mastering on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did the live show, so that was super cool. Actually, that was fun for me because I've always wanted to mix a live record and make it feel like a live show. So then there's records that I have just engineered on, like the Shai Hulud and Alpha and Omega record, where Chad Gilbert was the producer, and I would just engineer and mix, and
Cool.
Yeah.
So you would be there recording with them, and then also doing the, I guess you could say, afterwards, the computer process of balancing everything.
Pretty much. Actually, but to go back to the subject of a producer, in that situation, Chad Gilbert was the producer, who helped the band with the creativity of the songs, and then I was there to just engineer it and mix it.
So you dealt with the giant mixing board, or
or
the nowadays version, right? Pro Tools, I guess, or
in the box.
Yeah, in the box.
In
okay,
the box mixing.
That's the one you use?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you mix on Pro Tools inside a computer.
Right.
So.
Totally.
It's cool. Really cool.
Wow. So, how long have you been doing this?
I've been recording bands since I was in about 9th grade, and then.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just recorded bands throughout high school and.
So all your high school homies, you were hey, and you came up and helped them with their.
Pretty much, I was in a band, and we would play shows, and I would meet bands, and I'd say, hey, I record, come over, let's do some demos. I was in a band called Neural in high school, and we would often play shows probably every weekend, and I would meet bands and ask them to come record with me.
Wow.
At my parents' house,
Yeah, you're like, I got the stuff. Come on over and
Pretty much.
I'll help you guys out or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
It was
so
a lot of
cool.
So I just sort of fell in love with the process and been doing it ever since.
How did it go from there? Like, how did you get into this becoming like your profession?
So let me see. So throughout, like when I graduated high school, I could either go to college for something or just record bands, and that's what I did.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met producers who have hooked me up with cool gigs, working with bands like Neon Trees, and I had met a studio owner named Carlos De La Garza, who owns a studio in Eagle Rock, who hooked me up with a gig recording demos for Paramore.
Wow.
So that was super cool. I got to spend 10 days with them. And then actually some of the stuff we recorded for the demos made it on the record. So
that's great.
Yeah, that got me an engineering credit on the latest Paramore record. So stuff like that. And
that's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting for me because I love these bands.
I heard Paramore's really nice.
They are very sweet people,
that's
for sure.
Cool.
Super young and extremely talented. Yeah.
So you worked on New Found Glory.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of stuff did you do on that album?
On the New Found Glory stuff, I took the tracks and just mixed them. Mm-hmm.
So
part of it was live. Mm-hmm. So I took the the live tracks that they recorded at Chain Reaction and just kind of beefed it up and go through all the crowd noises and you boost them up like when the crowd's singing and just make the band sound really nice and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is one of my passions is singing and writing songs and stuff like that.
Right.
And I wanted to take it to get mixed. Like I did a bunch of tracks and recorded it on my Cakewalk program. Mm-hmm. And so if I was gonna come to you and be like, I want to make this into an album or something I could release, then what would I do? Like, what would it be like?
Well, you would send me the demos, and then I would listen to it and make notes and like just jot down ideas of like how, if it needs to be better, but maybe it's already really cool and ready to go, and
that's from the producer hat you're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And just like of course, part of it is taking like my taste and influencing the way you would arrange your song, and that's of course why you would come to me. Like
where you put the chorus and where you do this.
Sure, that's
or
part of
whatever.
it.
Yeah,
that's part of it. Yep. And then we would take that and then just create the track, create the music, and figure out what drum sounds we're going to use and bass and guitar sounds, and then
oh wow,
hopefully I would inspire some great performances.
So that's actually like you're actually part of really really creating it at that point. You're not just like taking somebody's already recorded tracks and then just whatever.
Well, that'd be like mixing it.
That's mixing.
So there are some cases where I would take demos that are already recorded and we would use those elements, and then build off of that.
So you'd be like, let's throw some whatever cowbell on that, right?
Exactly. Throw some cowbell or
throw some whatever. So like what would be an example of that you've done? Are you allowed to say?
No, that's fine. Usually stuff like that happens with like pop tracks, where like
Uh-huh.
pop tracks are already written or demoed, and then you can add to the production and just add some shine and add some cool elements to make it an awesome song.
I just have to say, like, I think it's so cool that you're able to like do this as a profession. I mean, like anybody that's in this business, obviously, like that's amazing to be able to like make a living.
Oh, I'm very lucky.
Yeah, like being able to do that. Like, are you like, do you just work from home, or do you have like a place, like a studio where
I have a studio in North Hollywood that I rent out. And
cool. What's it called?
It doesn't have a name. Just my own spot.
It's a secret.
No, it's just I prefer to not have a name to the studio because people come to me. They're coming for Kyle Black.
They're coming to you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I'm stoked to wake up every morning and go work on music every day for sure.
So do you have like a giant, soundproof stage and like recording booths?
My particular setup is it's really suitable for guitars and vocals. And then I like to go rent out big nice rooms and do drums in like a huge room.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about like Zeppelin and stuff. Like I love that kind of sound.
So great. I love it.
Yeah. And then
have you done any bands like that kind of remind you of them at all?
Zeppelin? Not really. Not lately.
Yeah.
But I still like the tones that like come off of that record are influential to me for sure. Especially the drum sounds. Just like big rooms. I mean, back when I was a kid, I would record drums in my parents' living room, which was all hardwood, and it was huge, and had a great sound.
Whoa,
so.
it probably echoed like crazy.
Exactly, yeah. I would actually set up room mics throughout the house and to pick up all the ambience and whatnot. And
wow.
it was fun.
I can't believe you thought of doing that. Like.
Yeah, it was experimental.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's really cool. Yeah. What did your mom say?
My mom didn't mind, but my stepdad hated it.
Oh man.
He just hates people
in general? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Say that again.
No, it's cool. That's good. My stepdad just hates people at the house. My mom didn't mind. That's the reason why I'm here today. Is because my mom let me do,
Let that be a lesson to you, parents out there. Let your kids be artistic.
Exactly.
That's right.
So, a lot of experimentation in the house and recording in bathrooms and closets.
Bathrooms.
Yeah.
That has a good echo to it in the bathroom.
Absolutely. I mean, all the different kinds of rooms make interesting different sounds that.
That's why I love singing in the shower because it echoes and I sound so much better than like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the concept behind reverb, really. You can it's reflecting and you kind of hear yourself after you sing.
Yeah.
That's reverb.
Well, cool. Well, what advice do you have to other people who are dealing with producing an album or like getting into that, I guess I should say? Yeah,
I would say work really, really hard. And, if that's your passion, then, you got to...
Where should they start?
Follow through. If you were to start, you should, get some mics and set it up and find some bands to record.
That's cool.
And
I bet there's a lot of bands that would like to be recorded, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of bands out there that are looking for recordings, and hopefully they're willing to give you their time to, help you practice, and then they'll get demos as well. And just be passionate about it, and don't stop, and,
Yeah. Well, I think obviously you find something that you really enjoy, and, if you really love it, then you just keep doing it.
Exactly.
No one can stop you from doing it.
Exactly.
Well, can you tell me some more of the bands you've worked with?
Sure. Some of the bands I'm currently working with are Comeback Kid and Strung Out. Comeback Kid's a hardcore band from Canada who's a great band. They've been one of my favorite bands for a long time, and they have some really great records already, so it's kind of like it's nerve-wracking to work with a band like that already has.
They already have such a high bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like you get in that position and you kind of gotta just really step up your game and put together a really amazing sounding record. And then
that's cool that you still really have that. I mean, you seem very humble about it. Like, you're not just like, oh yeah, sure, it's of course, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're still really trying to make it as best as you can.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I've worked really hard to get to work with these guys and stuff. I'm fortunate to work with them.
And what other ones are you doing?
Coming up after that is a band called Forever Came Calling, Heart to Heart, and then Into the Wind. Forever Came Calling is a pop-punk band from Palm Springs. Great. Kind of like Newfound Glory ish, but like, and maybe a little bit of Jimmy Eat World type of style. So it's I love that, working with that kind of music. So that's cool. And then Heart to Heart is a kind of like a post-hardcore melodic band that are good friends of mine. So I'm really excited to work on that.
Is that like Bring Me the Horizon kind of style?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bring Me the Horizon is really heavy. I really like that band.
They are pretty, yeah.
What's cool about them is they're heavy, but like have really memorable melodic
Yes.
songs that like are just awesome. And they've worked with the guy who produced that record. His name's David Bendith. He's one of my favorites. Like totally influential.
Cool.
Such a huge sound. And yeah. Oh, sorry. He didn't produce that record. He mixed it.
Oh, okay.
I think Terry Date produced that record.
You know so much about these records. Like
Yeah.
you're like you can name like all of their first names, like who did what and everything.
Well, yeah, these guys are the guys who influence me.
Yeah.
You know, and I look up to them. But yeah, Terry Date produced that record, the Bring Me the Horizon record.
Mm-hmm.
He did some Deftones, some of the earlier
Whoa.
Deftones records.
Whoa.
So, I mean, that's a great sounding record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Bring Me the Horizon. And then Into the Wind after that is actually a hardcore band again too. So probably their Into the Wind would be more like Bring Me the Horizon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of like style of music or whatever?
My favorite style of music is just is energetic, fast. Doesn't always have to be fast, but just intense. Like really fun, high energy. I don't like boring music.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a slow song, there's gotta be something interesting about it. Something that just pumps me up and gets my heart racing. That's the kind of music that I like.
So, so you worked with a lot of different like sort of rock bands and stuff, but what about, have you done any like pop bands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a lot of pop stuff. Band called Relay Company.
Cool.
Pop stuff. The difference between working on a pop track and a rock track is when you're working on a pop track, you really got to focus on like the cleanliness and clarity and the tuning of a vocal, in my opinion, and making the track shine and be really pretty and perfect. Versus like a rock record where you're just trying to, in my opinion, getting intense performances and dynamic and just a lot of energy, and not so worried about like if a singer's recording or singing in pitch, but you know, focusing that the singer is raw and intense and emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like
that's the rock
I don't
sound.
mind a little grit, yeah.
Yeah, that's the rock sound.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you play any instruments yourself?
I do play bass. Being a producer, you kind of got to know music,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can help a player if he needs help. You
Right.
know, sometimes guys need help with their riffs, or with harmonies, or with melodies, and you know. So I do play bass, but I can play a little guitar here and there and sing a bit too. So
That's awesome.
yeah. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I used to play tablature on my guitar. So,
Right.
but
Cool.
it's been a while. I can play like a few Metallica bits.
Right on.
and I enjoy singing, but
Right.
I don't have anything out there yet. So
Oh.
someday.
Come to me.
Cool.
I got a record going.
Sweet. Cha-ching. Just kidding. That's awesome. Lots of ladies throw themselves at you all the time.
I
They
wish.
Should you wear a shirt that says music producer and then that, you know, like...
Sometimes it helps getting chicks.
Yeah?
Saying that you're a music producer.
Right.
They think it's really cool right off the bat, and then they kind of just learn that you're kind of uninteresting, and all you do is sit in front of a computer all day.
No, they're like the brains behind the operation.
Yeah,
But they
chicks
just
dig
don't-
it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hit me up.
Do you-
Facebook.
What's the Facebook page?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. You could just look me up on Kyle, or
Kyle
look
Black.
up Kyle Black on Google.
Yeah, you've got social on there.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to kind of have a little bit on Google.
Nice.
There's some real estate on that
Cool.
website.
Do you ever get to go backstage and like hang out with the bands? while
Yeah.
they're- Yeah?
For sure.
What was the most funny, cool thing you ever like saw when you were backstage?
Shoot.
Are you allowed to talk about it? I don't know.
I'm just thinking.
Well, while you're thinking, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
I went to a Pantera concert.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm opening this door.
Yeah.
So I went to a Pantera concert when I was a teenager, and this girl got me behind stage with her, behind after the back part, the backstage area.
Yep.
I found out how she got me backstage was kind of a little interesting later, But
What was that? I want to hear that.
She convinced one of the doormen in a special way to get me, and I didn't know. Like, I really had no idea. So then we went backstage. She's like, "Come on, I got us backstage," and I'm like, "Okay." She was pretty wild. She was very wild. So we went backstage, and then we're hanging out, and then the guys from the Pantera guys, we had Dimebag Darrell outside signing autographs, and I got his autograph, and he was super cool. And then there was like this trailer, and Phil Anselmo was in the trailer, who is the lead singer from Pantera, and there was literally like a line of chicks like waiting to go into the trailer, you know. Right. Wow. and then like afterwards, like, you know, they would come out later, kind of disheveled.
Right.
And I was just like sitting there like, oh my god. I used to think he was cool, but then I didn't anymore because I'm a girl. So I was like, that's not cool. But I'm sure dudes think that's cool, but I didn't really. Well, you know. And yeah, we were asked actually to go there, but we didn't. I tried to use an excuse that, well, anyways, never mind. You've heard enough. But
that's a good story.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff happens that you've seen?
There's been a couple times where I've like I've been known to sneak into concerts.
Oh.
I've actually been to jail once.
Are you kidding me?
For running into a concert.
For sneaking in.
Not sneaking, it was dumb. I actually ran into the mosh pit area at this big show in Long Beach.
Nice. For
Strung Out, Rise Against, Comeback Kid.
So they do still have mosh pits then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a show at an arena, and like I didn't have a ticket for the floor, but I needed to be in the mosh pit. So
you're like, I need to be in the mosh pit.
Exactly.
So you just like pummeled your way.
So I actually
through.
just booked it past the security guard. But they caught me and dragged me out. And
I didn't know they gave separate tickets for that. Like they didn't used to do that.
Yeah, it was an arena show. It was a while back.
So you got arrested?
I think you'd say that was my craziest concert moment. I went to jail because I was being a smart ass, but it started with sneak.
You started arguing with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, you know, whatever.
Rock and roll!
Exactly.
That's good. That's a good story.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Did you at least get to like go in the mosh pit at all?
I did not. I mean, I was in there for like a minute, and then they dragged me out and gave me to the cops, and
that's not cool, man.
And that was it.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. But it was interesting being in jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Weird. Like it was just cold and.
Did they put you in the drunk tank?
They actually put me in the room with all the gay and transsexuals.
Why? Just because you have a beard? Just kidding. No, but why did they?
I don't know. I think because I was young at the time, and the other room was like just rough. I think.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, they put me in with the homosexuals, which was cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't mind hanging out with them. It was we actually had some really interesting conversations.
Wow. Did you have to stay overnight?
I did, yeah.
You did?
I spent like 6 hours there. So I got there at like maybe 8, and then my buddy, they let me out at like 3 in the morning or something.
What did they call your offense? What's that called? Mosh pit, breaking into the mosh pit?
I don't know.
Were you officially charged with that?
It all started with the crazy concert moment.
I have to say that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
That's pretty rocker of you to get arrested for going in a mosh pit.
Right.
That's awesome.
Totally.
I have been in the mosh pit for Pantera.
Yeah?
And even though I'm a girl,
yep.
Luckily the people made like a sort of a circle so that I would not get totally pummeled.
Right. Yeah.
But I had many bruises.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I love mosh pits.
Well, back in the day, they were like really violent.
Yeah.
I think like people actually would like punch people.
Well, sure, at a Pantera concert,
Yeah, Pantera was pretty intense.
Right.
And then you would have like the neck thing the next day from like headbanging the whole time.
Right.
So cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is what happens, yeah.
Yeah, mosh pits.
Yeah, mosh pits.
Have you crowd surfed?
No, I've never crowd surfed.
I used to do that when I was younger and lighter.
Did you?
When people could actually lift me.
How did you get up on the crowd?
Just, have your buddies help you up there, and It was great. Some of my first time crowd surfing was at a Warped Tour in San Diego.
Whoa.
You should try it sometime.
I'm kind of scared to do that because I feel like everyone would just sort of rip your clothes off.
Yeah, they might do that to you. Not to me, though.
They'll be like, I want his flannel. That's so funny.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think a new band or someone that hasn't done an album yet should do?
Practice and write every single day. You know, music. Everyone in the music industry or entertainment industry is here because they love it, and obviously there's not a lot of money to be made in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of just have to get past that point and just grind it.
Stick it out.
Yeah, and never give up, and then just keep on hustling, and things will happen. I definitely think dreams come true if you kind of don't give up.
Yeah.
For sure.
I totally agree with that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I think there's like so many people that try and then they think that their odds are against them, so then they stop and then.
Yeah.
But if you just keep going, right?
Absolutely. I think that's the trick.
Yeah.
To anything in the entertainment industry. Yeah. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, is there any sort of like websites or anything you'd like to tell people about to go check out your stuff or?
Sure, yeah. KyleBlackMusic.com. You can check out a lot of my work, and I try to keep it updated as much as possible.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Totally.
It was a lot of fun.
It's awesome. I mean, I think what you do is like kind of the missing thing that people don't know about, but it's actually like really important.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So right on, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for watching music producer Kyle Black on
The Red Booth.